What's happening, guys? Welcome back to another video. We got a lot going on, so without any further ado, we're gonna go ahead and jump right into it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, drop a comment. Love talking with you guys. And we're gonna go ahead and get started. So we're gonna go ahead and jump down to our nursery area so we can start out there and then show you what we got going on in the garden here. So here's the nursery that y'all pretty much remember. We actually had two flats originally. I just planted these bad boys right here. The rest of them are here. Basically what we're doing is we're just trying to take all the seeds, some of the seeds that we harvested, not all of them, uh, and the rest of the seeds that we had that are old, around 2, 3, 4 years old, that we just need to go ahead and use while we can. Got them planted so we can see what's coming up. We also have these two right here are actually, believe it or not, we went ahead and bought a dragon fruit from the store and tried to plant the seeds here. We're going to see how they do, plus some other unique things that we got going on. Of course, we know we have our plants as well. Um, so we're going to go ahead and show you guys what we did with these. So basically, we're in the garden now. I took about approximately 3 to 4 of whatever we managed to pop. For example, right here is a potato that we were able to root. We had gotten some traditional Texas potatoes, just like you get from the store, and they had got old. They had some little roots on them, so we went ahead and opted to plant some of those. And like I said, of course, we have other things as well. So we have some cantaloupes, some honeydew. Like I said, we just kind of scattered it throughout to let them finish growing. We also have some of our tomatoes and our carrots and different things that we had already planted. Those are going to be coming through as they're ready. Um, and then we took two, depending on what it was. Some of the plants are we consider special. For example, here in the greenhouse, so we have our sugar beets, all along right here. Um, these are all sugar beets. We only had the 4 pop. We'll probably only have about 2 to 3 survive. So we went ahead and brought everything in here. And then, of course, we have 2 of everything else, as you can see. So, like, for example, we got the 2 honeydews, 2 watermelon, 2 cantaloupe, potato, all that stuff. Will be growing in pots in here. So we can also have veggies and stuff through the winter. Now, I'm sure y'all can see we have our trees in here as well. The reason is now traditionally people are going to just plant their trees and then move on, not cover them, and then their trees are going to die. So what we decided to do is we weren't really ready to decide where we wanted these trees. Now we did plant one of our peach trees, and we will be planting this one next year. But I was talking with a gardening buddy of ours, and he said that he had the best of luck when he would plant them in the ground in spring and then cover them for 2 years during the fall and winter. So we're going to go ahead and follow what worked for him. These in the center area are actually going to be what we're planning to keep. So we have our eucalyptus, our almond, we have our aloe vera back there that we're trying to get some babies from. We also have our lemon tree, apple tree, that's a coffee tree. We have a moringa tree, and again, our peach tree. We do have some other things that we're going to be slowly filling in along the side. All of our potted plants. So we got our stevia, some peppers, more coffee plants, our bok choy, goji berries. I'm sure y'all get the hint. And if you've seen any of our original videos that we produced, we actually, right around the time it was right when we started our channel here at Hippie Organics, we actually had 2 white barrels. I can actually show that to you guys. Um, we had 2 white barrels. They're about 30 to 35 gallons. So these, and we had them filled with water. We've been using them for some other stuff, but we had them filled with water, and we also had them filled with fish and some other things to help accumulate heat throughout the winter and fall. But the thing is for our Texas weather, it just really wasn't that efficient for what we were trying to do. So what we opted to do is we know we're going to do a space heater and an oscillating fan in here. It's what we did last season that worked really well. So we're going to go ahead and do that as well. I'm sure you have also noticed, if you've seen our other videos, that we have a bunch of cardboard down. We actually had a company willing to drop off wood chips. We're just waiting for that, and then we're going to go ahead and tie up all of this. Now we also had time to kind of think about what are we going to do with this area. If you've seen my other videos, Johnson grass is horrid back here. So we're gonna fill in what we can as we get time. Covering our mulch layer in. But we were thinking, if Johnson grass grows so well, why not grow an edible form? Food forest. Um, we really want corn. I know it sounds silly, but we have had really horrid luck here um, because of weather and pests and stuff. So we're thinking about maybe putting a maze of corn back here with walkways and see how that goes, since the Johnson grass was already doing so well back there. And that's not particularly something that we would want. Um, Now, we are also, you can see, the squash and stuff are starting to finish up, and our okra and stuff is coming through. So the reason we planted things here is, if these little plants survive, awesome. If we get fruit off of it, awesome. But if you've ever heard of cover crops, we actually are to some degree using this stuff as cover crops and pre-seed, to where maybe it'll seed come spring. We'll already have some volunteer plants. At least that's the goal. We originally had planted the seedlings to place in this area, but because it's taken so long for us to get the wood chips, we went ahead and opted to fill in this area here and place some in our greenhouse for our fall and winter garden. At least through the cold months. Um, I'd say that's pretty much it on how we're doing. It's like I said, it's pretty straightforward. We've been once the ball started rolling, we've just been trying to keep up with it. Um, Things like this. So our old chili pequin, we're actually going to take and build like mini greenhouses, place over this, and our pineapples there. We also planted another pineapple, but I'm also take a look at this, just amazed. Just loaded with chili pequins. Like, this is excessive, guys. This is excessive. Um, so I definitely want to hold on to this bad boy, maybe even turn it into like almost like a tree, just because look at that stem. It's huge. It's a huge bush, but we have been harvesting off of it. I do like a little bit of spice when we eat, so I tend to add chili pequins and some of the other spices that we have as we get time. We have decided, so our seeding technique that we tried does not work. I repeat, it does not work, but that's okay. As you can see, the majority of these have actually just been pulling up. But what we did learn, and I feel like this is important, um, is you can see right here, we had a little seed explosion. Now, what is the difference between that and, say, the tomatoes that we tried to just throw out? So what we learned is there's certain plants that specifically do better in a transplant versus direct sow. So things like root vegetables, like our carrots here, they do significantly better when you direct sow. What that means is that we went ahead and just tossed them, kind of mixed them in here. Now, if you were to take this tomato bush, for example, this is our Homestead tomato that we recently got, and I'm actually going to be taking clones off of it to take and put in the greenhouse. These do better with a transplant. Like our okra here is doing phenomenal off of a direct sow. So there are certain things that do better in transplant versus direct sow, um, which I'm sure to some of you is fairly obvious. But we really just wanted to see, what could we accomplish. Um, we also have some herbs here. We got some mint down here. We got some lemon balm over by our peach tree here. Um, but I felt that was an interesting take. And the other thing that we learned is herbs in the garden is significantly more important than you would think. Areas where we have herbs, we do not have pests. So, for example, you really don't see a whole lot of ants in here. And I know it doesn't look great, but we need to add some more wood mulch and stuff when we get it. But this area's had time to settle, so the ants have kind of veered away. We also, like I said, we also have some herbs. Now, if you can see, this area is fresh cardboard and there are absolutely no herbs outside of this citronella. And this citronella doesn't really help with ants. It's actually beginning to die back. Um, but we actually do have ants. When we were setting up this greenhouse yesterday, it was ants galore in there. Um, you know, it's like I said, it's basically just veggies and stuff, bushes that we have. So that is something else that we learned. Herbs are significantly, very important, guys. Another aspect that we've learned, looking back from this last year, this season that we've had so far, is come fall. So like right now, I understand it doesn't look that great, but in that same note, fall gardens tend to not look that great. Come spring, this is just filled with birds and squirrels and fresh life. Uh, that's why we think of spring as more of a rejuvenation. Your fall garden's probably not going to look pretty, but it's still going to be producing. As you can see, we still have our squashes. In fact, I did the old Amish pantyhose and to cover, help protect it, so we can get seeds out of it the best we could. You can see we got a lot of true bugs, squash bugs, and stuff happening. So it's just it's beginning to get to the point where it's end of season. The Mother Nature on her own is beginning to alter and resort back to more of a death state, to allow everything to kind of recover. So like I said, that's pretty much it. That's all we mostly got for now, guys. I really appreciate y'all's time. I hope y'all learned something. I learned quite a bit this season, and I'm really geared and excited for this next season. We're also going to be hopefully more efficient in our greenhouse this time, since last year was our first go around using a greenhouse, and especially this one, even though it's just a sun bubble. So I'll keep you guys updated. I hope y'all learned a lot, and we'll see you on the next video.